And now, stay tuned for the best of Carson. From Hollywood, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon, along with Doc Severinsen of the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guest, Father Guido Sarducci, film critics Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, and Robin Barnett and her unusual contraption. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Gene Siskel. Welcome, gentlemen. First thing I thought of when you guys walked out, who's going to make a move for this chair?
It's really kind of my turn, and I'm happy to be here. It's a very nice chair, and I like sitting in it.
Gee, have you seen any good movies lately? What do you think of the color purple? Yeah, let's talk about the color purple tonight.
The color purple.
Gene, come back. Gene, come back here. You guys are friends, I assume. I see you work together. You seem to have a good relationship, but obviously you are competitors. You do the same work for different newspapers.
We kind of coexist. We started out as enemies, and we have improved on that a little bit. I think the first year that Gene was on the beat, I hardly even talked to him.
True?
He had a big, bushy mustache at that time and a lot more hair than he has now.
Roger weighed exactly the same that he weighs now.
Listen, that's due to 17 years of dieting, and I've been able to maintain
Seems
that.
to be a little festering under the surface here.
1/8 of a ton of rompin' stompin' film criticism.
How long have you been doing this job, both of you?
I've been a film critic for the Sun-Times for 18 years.
16. I'm in my 17th year at the Tribune.
I was the youngest film critic for a major daily in America, and then they hired Gene at the Tribune, and I became the oldest film critic in Chicago.
When you first met each other, did you really?
We did not like each other.
He came in with a lot of advanced billing. He was the Yale philosophy major, and he was going to take me on. You know, I was already in place for a year, and it was really interesting. The first year he graded the movies instead of giving them stars. It was.
No, that's not true. I started the stars right away. We did not like each other at all. Our job was and continues to be to beat each other in print every single day of the week. And one day a week, we get together. Sort of a truce is called. We try and beat each other on TV. That's all.
You go do the show.
And we do the show. It would not be unlike if, let's say, you and Dick Cavett, let's say his show had been a smash success for 23 years like your show, and you two guys were in deadly competition every day of the week for guests and for monologues and everything.
We were at one time.
Yes, and you blew them out.
No, there were 3 talk shows on the air one night. Merv Griffin was on, Dick Cavett, and the Tonight
But I mean,
Show was
it's
on.
that intense of a rivalry.
You can be friends, but you kind of...
We are always trying to get an interview away from each other for the Sunday paper. We're always trying to get a review in first. We're always trying to talk to stars before the other guy has. And we're always trying to outright each other.
We're always trying to pick out themes.
Yeah.
Issues going on in the movies. When we sense that, for example, now violence, you'll see a lot more violence in films than sex. You'll see a lot of violence directed at women. Those
Does the
kinds of
violence
issues.
bother you more than the sex?
Yes.
Yes, it does, because it's inhuman, you know.
Yeah.
The violence in The Hitcher right now, seeing The Hitcher was one of the most unhappy experiences I've had in the movies in a long time.
And that was one that we really agreed on. In fact, I was kind of surprised because I didn't know whether Gene would like it or not. It's very slick. Well, I didn't know. It's very technically smooth.
I'd have to be subhuman
It's very
to like
well
that
made,
film.
and it is absolutely depressing. There's a scene in that movie where there was a woman who was tied up between 2 trucks.
Torn
and she
apart.
was
That's
torn
correct.
apart. And I was sitting there thinking, it will never happen. We will never see the scene where he puts his foot on that pedal, and he did. And I thought, you know, I was thinking, if this happens in this movie, then there's no hope.
And what's bad about it is there were a lot, and it's not a big hit, it's a modest success, I think. But each of those people who saw that film now gets burned on the movies because that movie really violates you. That movie shows you ugliness that you have to take home at night and think about for as short a time as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And the movie industry is under fire from the cassette industry right now. People don't need a reason not to go to the movies. Pictures like The Hitcher give people reasons to stay home and rent their old favorites.
But obviously you are Good point. But I would guess, I'm sure I'm right in this, neither one of you are, of course, for censorship.
No.
No, the movie should be made, it should be shown,
Self-policing.
and it should not be attended by anybody.
That's the whole thing. That's the point. It's like pornography. Don't go looking. Suppose somebody came to you and said, there's a lot of talk in the press about rock radio stations being paid off, you know, to get records played. Have you ever had somebody come to you and say, we really need to push on this picture. How would you like a new house?
I have never been offered a bribe in any form. And as far as I know, no other film critic has either that I know about. I don't believe that I don't think the studios do that.
Right.
There is a form of bribery, though, that is very subtle, and that has to do with the granting of interviews. You'll notice, Johnny, and in fact, it even happens on this show. Isn't it odd, Johnny, that you get guests who just happen to be available just as their movie is opening that week?
Yes, especially on NBC, or if they work for this network. Sure.
Well, it works the same way with us. The star who, you know, doesn't call me. I had the flu last week. I was sick. Gene Hackman didn't call me. Burt Reynolds didn't call me. Al Pacino didn't call me.
I didn't call him.
Jack Nicholson didn't call me.
I didn't call you either.
But, you know, when Prizzi's Honor came out, I was able to get an interview with Jack Nicholson, one of our greatest actors. So you see...
That's part of it.
There's no question that there's an industry there, and we've had said to both of us, I believe, if you like the picture, Burt will interview with you. So now that's a little bit of